Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo, and today was the big day, especially if you've been following this whole Kick Vic situation, where Vic sues Funimation and other voice actors for defamation. This is what has been, if you've been following any of the nighttime lawyery news information here on YouTube, there's been a guy named Nick Rekieta that's been covering this very, very, very frequently, and a lot of people are really heavily invested in this particular story and seeing where things go with it. I haven't covered it from a full-on perspective yet. I touched upon it yesterday with Vic having been removed from the Dragon Ball Super Broly DVD that Funimation put out, and that Funimation, in my opinion, could be in trouble for, false advertising in regards to that, but who knows what's going to happen, if anything at all. But this particular story is fascinating for a number of reasons. Now, before we jump into it here, I do want to state once again, I have heard from my sources inside the industry that Vic does have an attitude, that some of these accusations are true. That's what I've heard. I'm reserving judgment on this. I don't have a dog in this particular race, but I do find one aspect of it to basically be very fascinating, which we will talk about here at the end. So, Vic Mignogna, again, if I'm wrong, please tell me. No one told me I got that wrong, so cool. Known for voicing Broly in the Dragon Ball series of games, films, and TV shows, filed a lawsuit claiming defamation and other charges against Funimation and other voice actors on Thursday, according to public court documents. Fellow Funimation voice actors Monica Rial and Jamie Marcy, along with Rial's fiance Ronald Toy, are also named in the lawsuit. Vic's suit stated that he is suing for interference in other work contracts and that the charges made against him accusing him of sexual harassment were false and affected his career due to not only Funimation's decision to no longer work with him, but conventions also canceling his appearances. Vic and his lawyer Ty Beard of Beard, Harris, Bullock & Hughes are seeking monetary relief of over $1 million in addition to other relief to which Vic may be justly or equitably entitled. And so the lawsuit that's listed below, they have the full thing here. It lays out a pretty straightforward, coordinated effort by these people to take out Vic, to kneecap him professionally, to take out his career and make it go away. It really does lay out a strong case for that. But again, I find that to be a very interesting discussion, and one that I don't know what, if at all, could, if it, and again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. So I want that to be abundantly clear. But what I'm curious about here is the situation involving tweets and how much of one's opinion can now be used against you in a court of law, and how much of this particular case, if it actually goes to trial, if it actually gets that far, will it have an impact, a greater impact on how we handle defamation via social media? And I am interested in that one here. So in January, accusations of sexual harassment and homophobia surfaced against Vic. Funimation ended its relationship with him a month later. A popular anime convention attendee, he was accused of sexual harassment by fans in the form of hugging and kissing without consent. Some of the con attendees who said this happened were underage, and allegations go back as far as 2008. Some voice actors have also spoken out against Vic. Marchi detailed her own encounter with him, and Rial stated that she was also sexually harassed by Vic. And the Rial thing, that was interesting. Like, it was about like writing her name on a jelly bean, and he ate the jelly bean, and then she says that she felt that was sexually aggressive because he said that he had ate Monica. Okay, like it's a physical representation. I don't know, man. That's the thing. That's the crazy. And like, the thing is, there's a lot more to this article there's a lot more to this story than this article is putting out there. Now, Twitter posts by Rial, Marchi, and Toy may now be used as evidence for the lawsuit, which the lawsuit saying that the exposure the actors and Toy noted as either a Funimation agent or employee in the court documents provided to accusations against Vic via tweeting and retweeting caused the matter to go viral. One or more of the defendants then actively defamed him to conventions, according to the suit. Vic, best known for playing Ed in Fullmetal Alchemist, developed a large fan following as a result of his work in numerous anime shows, films, and video games. He denied the allegations on Twitter in a statement, calling the accusations heartbreaking, and going on to say here that I would also like to sincerely apologize to anyone who ever felt my interaction with them, a hug or a kiss on the cheek or forehead, crossed the line. Never in a million years would it be my intent to make anyone feel uncomfortable. And of course, Funimation did not respond for comment. So what I find to be very interesting in this particular regard, based upon just what I have read, and like I said, there's a lot more to this story than I am 100% caught up on. There's like a fake swatting and a lot of like weird harassment and like Twitter harassment. And what I am predominantly interested here in is the Twitter harassment, because as a public figure on Twitter, people say things about me all the time. I mean, we're talking like some real terrible shit here, and they hide behind an anonymous account. And this happens not just to me, but like literally everybody. So if this particular situation does go the full gamut, if it does make the full run and get in front of a jury, or at least get in front of a judge, and it gets, it gets argued in court, could this be a precedent for things going forward? Could this be a precedent for any person who is active on social media to then fight back legally against those who have defamed them? Is this what's going to be, opening up basically libel laws? And I'm curious about that, because this could ultimately be what I personally feel could be the make or break of this particular case. Because reading through the lawsuit, it just looks like they said mean things on Twitter, and that's that, And the thing when it comes to Funimation, I mean, there was also Rooster Teeth. Rooster Teeth also fired Vic. And Rooster Teeth is surprisingly not in this lawsuit. That's what I don't get. They are located out of Austin, Texas. This lawsuit was filed in Tyler, Texas. It's this, all Monica Rial and her husband all live in Texas. Funimation is in Delaware, but has an entity in Texas. So this whole thing boils down to Texas, it feels like. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, if you look at the employment side of things, unemployment, it wasn't like they fired Vic from the job. I mean, they did. What I mean by that is it's not like he was currently actively doing something that we know of. They recast him in another role. But if that's what they said about it, then we live in an at-will employment country. We live in a country where you can be fired for just about anything without any real reason. We like to think that wrongful termination, it probably applies more than not in many cases, but people never like actively pursue it legally because it's very hard to prove. And you need a lot of money to back it up. Vic got a very, very, very sizable war chest donated to him by fans, which is one of the reasons why he's able to go and do this particular lawsuit. And again, I'm very fascinated by this. I don't know if he is as they say he is. I have no interaction with this guy. I've heard good and I've heard bad. People that I trust have told me bad. People on the internet have said good. It's one of those weird situations. What I'm more interested in here is whether or not, looking at this from the perspective of, can you actually file a lawsuit against mean tweets? Because that was there. Monica retweeted something and then accused him of being a sexual predator. They accused him of doing all these things. They could just argue that's their opinion, and then that would be that, right? Like, because we hear that all the time. That's how we have our First Amendment laws in this country. If Funimation fired him because they did an internal investigation and they found that he was not meeting their standards as an employee, would they then be held accountable in this lawsuit? That's going to be a tough one to prove, I think. I think that the general gist of what I've read comes across as being Monica Rial and her husband and that other woman have made a lot of tweets, caused it to go viral, and as a result of that, it hurt Vic. Now, I don't know if the whole Kamea-Con situation with him was a result of the reinstatement, was as a result of a legal threat. It's entirely possible. He went to Kamea-Con this last weekend. It apparently was very big, very well received. Monica didn't show up, and so, I mean, which makes a lot of sense, to be fair. So, I mean, there's a lot of elements at play here. And again, I'm not accusing him of anything because I don't know. I mean, ultimately, none of us really know. thresholds for what is considered appropriate or inappropriate behavior do vary person to person. But inside, and if you read what that Marcy lady said, Marcy, whatever her name is, in her statement, she had said that he had, like he was affectionate with her, but in that world, people are known to be affectionate. That they will give you a hug, give you a kiss on the cheek, a kiss on the forehead. They are affectionate. Actors are genuinely affectionate with one another. That is not out of the question. You do a film shoot, everyone's hugging everybody. Like, let's, for example, Doug Jones. All right, I'm just giving you guys this as a side example. Doug Jones is known for giving out Doug hugs. And if you work on set with Doug Jones, you want a Doug hug because they're so nice. I worked with him once in 2009, and he made sure to find me to give me a Doug hug before the end of our time, before the end of the day, when he had wrapped for the day. He was leaving, and he wanted to give me a Doug hug. This is Hollywood is affectionate with people. Actors are affectionate with people. So again, it could be very whatever. It's a very tough situation to navigate, and it should serve as a warning to like maybe not do that as often. Be very careful about how you do it. People might perceive it differently, and that becomes its own argument. But again, the situation ultimately, in my opinion, boils down to, is Twitter now going to be in a situation to where it is going to be a legal battlefield for things people say? And I kind of want it. I kind of want it to. I kind of want him to win, and I kind of want him to set precedent on this thing, because I don't think that it's right to go after this guy's jobs for accusations. I don't agree with that at all. And the severity of which it appears that they did according to this lawsuit, which is what it alleges, is one of those situations where I'm not a fan of that. And they were accusing him of all of these things, and he doesn't have the ability to defend himself while it goes viral. And we've seen this time and time and time again. Someone gets accused of something on social media, especially in the Me Too era, and it becomes this very blown out thing, and it destroys careers overnight without any possible chance of defending oneself. So Vic didn't do anything, which I'm sure people in the comments are going to say that he did or didn't do. And again, at this point, we literally have no idea. I would like to think that if he didn't do anything, this is justice fighting for what is right. That's how I predominantly want to look at it. Because I would love it if people would take better care of how they say things online and realize that their words and that their actions have actual consequences. And that you cannot destroy someone's career based upon simply that. Like, that's not the right call. It's a societal ill, in my opinion. Anyway, this be crazy. This is all over the place. So I am interested to know your thoughts. I'm interested to know your opinions. Let me know down in the comments below. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a good one, and peace out.